Okay, we're setting up our Christmas display. We're going to do the loops right at the moment. Going to set them up. We have 3 loops on one side, 3 loops on the other. This one here has the input on the left-hand side. On this side, it has the input on the right-hand side, so it goes this direction. And that's how that works. Now, considering I'm getting older, and every year this is becoming a bear to do, I'm thinking about putting them on eBay and selling. So look down in the notes in the comment section and see if I have them on sale or not on eBay. If I do, they're listed. If not, I'll have them sold. So I'm going to explain how these go up and how they're made. And the way these work right here, we have the input voltage and the input computer signal. It goes up and around, and then on the other side is the output here, plus it's got the voltage that goes back into it to feed the other direction. Okay, it takes 2 people to flip these up. And you just slide it on like that. That's how these go in. Okay, the center of the loop is approximately 8 feet. The length of the loop is 13.5 feet. So the length is 13.5. And what I'm selling is the lights and the piece of aluminum, and that's all. You'll have to use your own power supply and your own controller, because I don't know what you guys are using because there's so many. All of these lights are WS2811s, and they're 5-volt lights. We're going to construct an arch for our Christmas display. We're going to use 20 foot of 1 inch by 1 inch aluminum to construct this project. First thing we do, I already bent it into an arch. It's a 20-foot piece, left it straight 15 inches on each end. I'm going to use approximately 125 LEDs, so I measured them and marked them. Now I am drilling a starter hole with a 1/4 inch drill bit. After we drill 125 holes, we clamp it down on the work table so we can finish drilling. I use 4 different drill bits to do this task. 1/4 inch for the starter hole, a 3/8 inch the next size up, 7/16, and then a 12 millimeter. Make sure it's a 12 millimeter for the LED, and then a 15/32. Right now I'm drilling the hole, making it larger each time I drill. The reason why I do that, it eliminates the burrs on the inside, which you can't get to deburr. I use oil to help the situation out for drilling to make the drill bits last longer. After drilling all the holes, I'm putting the WS2811 IC modules into each one of the holes. I'm putting it in on the 15/32 hole and getting them all seated. After getting them all ready to go, then we have to push them all the way through the hole. You just apply a little pressure on the back, and I modified the hemostats to grab a hold of the LED. So you press down just a little and twist. It pops into place. That's why it's important to use different size drill bits so that the burrs aren't there. Now we have to parallel the power supply because each one of the strips are 50 lights long, and you need to parallel these strips with extra electric wire. If not, there's too much current running through the small wires. I'm just using a thin 18 gauge wire to parallel the B+ source. At each one of the 50 junctions, I hook up the B+ for each side. I solder all of my joints considering they're going outside, because we live in Florida and we have a lot of condensation and a lot of rain. So I'm just putting caps over it just to protect them. The next thing we have to prepare is each one of the wires for the data line and the 3 wires that we have on the 2811s. Right now we're stripping the wires. And after I strip all the wires, I tint them with the soldering iron. Make sure it's got a good coating of solder on it. Next thing, I just put them side by side and just tack them. I haven't had any problems doing this. They've worked perfectly fine. The hard part is make sure that when you heat them up, you don't get a cold solder joint. After we get them all soldered, we use a shrink tubing and a heat gun and shrink them down. That makes them stronger and fairly water sealed. After we get it all connected, we're going to hook up the data line to the controller. And then we're going to hook up the B+ to the power supply. The chips that I'm using here are 5 volts. You can buy them 12 volts, but all of my system's been 5, so I just kept it that way. As you can see, this is my test pattern. It's just the 3 RGB colors that's running. And you got to remember, each one of these arches are 20 feet long, and I have 6 of them. Taking the picture in the daytime because my camera freaks out with these LEDs because they're so bright. So this is Florida sun in the daytime. Okay, now it got dark and I'm trying to take the picture of just the arches. So as you can see, the arches, they're blinking at random. Now I got the color bands going back and forth. And like I said, I have 6 arches. And here's my whole display. It's just a little dab less than 200 feet and everything. Okay, what we're selling, to be exact, is the arches. As you can see there, I have 6 running right now. This is in the daytime here with the Florida sun, because if you take a picture at night, my camera kind of freaks out. It don't look the best. But what I'm selling is arch one at a time. They're made out of aluminum. You can see how they were made, and they're using the 2811 pixels, and they run off of 5 volts. You have to have your own power supply and your own controller. So the only thing we're selling is the arches. And I'm getting old, and every year I got to learn how to do it again because I keep forgetting. So have a nice one. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. When you get a chance, if you would please subscribe to my channel, that would help us out. Thank you.